All right, well, I think we've got all our runners in here, so if they want to go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Code Gorilla.
I am Mashama.
I'm Tornell.
And I think Sho Fukumachi has already deafened himself in preparation for the race. So I'll introduce him.
Go ahead and talk a bit about Crystalis before you guys get started if you want, and we can go from there.
Well, I'm Big Daryl, 1986, and I am joined today in the commentary booth by the Axeman, who you will see running the Soul Blazer portion, I believe. What is that, tomorrow or Sunday?
Tomorrow night.
All right, and also joining us is J-Ro Boy. J-Ro.
Hello. I'm J-Ro Boy, and I suck at this game, but I like to program for it. So I'm here to be tracking mostly because I can't offer the same level of insight that someone like Axe can. Speaking of Axeman, if he could introduce himself next.
That's right. I'm the Axeman, and I play this game sometimes too. I've also done the speed run and tasks at times, and and I also enjoy commentating when I get a chance like this. So we're gonna have some fun today. I actually vetted this seed and played it earlier. I have not been practicing the same flags, which are absolutely insane. We'll get into that. And but I was able to make it through, and so I know that the seed is completable. This is actually a beta version of the randomizer that sometimes spits out seeds that aren't actually doable. So, but we're pretty sure that everyone will be able to finish this one.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, no
hopefully.
worries.
If not, we blame Axe.
That's right.
And yeah, I am the odd one out, Big Daryl, 1986. I enjoy the game casually as a child. I play a little bit of the rando here and there, but overall, I am nowhere near as good as any of these guys mentioned before me. I just talk. I do a decent job doing it, so why not? But yeah. Sounds like we got a Mr. Spoke saying Axe needs to reroute his tasks of Crystalis.
Oh, I do. It is a very complicated game to task. I mean, this is a complicated game with fast action. It's going to be fun to play. I mean, it's pretty much fun no matter how you do it. As a speed run, as a task, as a rando. And I think it's going to be interesting. If we're ready to go, I can drop the gate on these guys. Wait, we still need Mashama to ready up here, though. All right.
The runner's going to mute themselves soon, too. That way they're not listening to us spoil them.
Cheaters.
I see you over there.
But I like hearing you talk about me.
I do just want to say something about this game real quick.
Okay.
This game, the character moves really fast, and it's like there's no acceleration or anything like that. The character just, when you push forward, they go fast. And so the entire game is going to be going fast, and if our runners even find the speed boots, they're going to be going faster. So if we miss something, it's because they're just going so fast. And everything's all shuffled.
That's why there's three of us in the commentary booth, so we kind of catch each other, and I'm just going to toss it out there. This might be the fastest paced rando today, maybe for the marathon. I'm not going to throw that out there. I mean, I've been watching since the DWR this morning. That's not the fastest game. Mario RPG, it goes pretty good. Career Day, okay, that, you went fast. I will give you guys that. It'll do. Fantasy Star 4, I did not expect you guys to do that well in, but we are going.
Right out the gate, we did have a really fun time there watching them grab first item, Sword of Thunder. When you grab the Sword of Thunder in the vanilla game, it will warp you. So they all started off getting warped away. They can always just reset and warp back to the start of the game. So they didn't miss anything. But
I mean, we should explain the flags here. How why the locations of the towns are all shuffled. Because we have an area shuffle, which is basically an entrance randomizer between not just the towns, but any area in the game. And so if you see the runners sort of stop for a moment, they're probably writing something down because it is really easy to get confused and forget things.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a interesting show, as Code Gorilla and Tornell both find a grand cathedral where they talk to Zebu and found themselves an item, and show's actually right there too. And they're kind of going real fast here. I didn't even catch which item, but it looked like a sword to me.
yeah, from Zebu, they got Sword of Water.
So the Sword of Water lets you make bridges, which is important. So later on we'll get a flight spell that lets us fly over water. But since we don't have that, we've got to use that. We've got to use this Sword of Water to build these bridges.
So Lightning Duke actually pointed out something. It's the Horde of Otter. I actually want to go ahead and explain that real quick.
We have these community joke names for some of the items, and it's a random thing, but it happens to be on for most of the items in this flag, in this seed, apparently.
And Horde of Otters actually came from the Game Boy Color version, if I'm remembering the story behind that.
That's right. There's a very poor audio quality voice in that particular game, and because it's a Game Boy Color game, something, yeah, and it sounds like they give the names of things in a very low fidelity sound.
And that's how we got Horde of Otters versus Sword of Water.
So we've got some mimics, a mimic and a lysis plant in this cave here.
Yeah, the mimics, there are only, 16 in the game or so? 12, something like that?
Something like that, yeah. 12, 13.
16 mimics, yep. That's the max that you can have, and usually it spawns about 13.
Okay. So mimics are interesting for a couple reasons. One, you go up and you get bit, you get poison. They're also good, though, because they have some of the best money drops in the game, which that may come in handy sometime soon. We're going to find out how things go. But a lot of the money in this is going to go towards medical herbs and instays, especially once they get magic. Show finding a wind wall, so see what he chooses to do here.
So we have wind, so we have water and we have thunder. So if we see a wall, and the walls can be shuffled between any element. There are lava walls now in the rando that aren't in the vanilla game, and so the Sword of Water could be used to break a wall. There's also thunder walls, which normally the vanilla game you've only got the iron statue things.
The gargoyle face, basically.
Yeah. So I didn't, in the first two towns, I don't know if we saw any many item shops, actually.
I don't think we did.
There was one item shop in Oak, but I don't believe it had anything useful.
Yeah.
So we're stuck with, I don't think they have any medical herbs, and we've got to get through this swamp with no mitigation on the damage.
Toguril is really enjoying those paralyses there.
So you'll notice there's going to be a lot of resets and stuff like that. That's because this game has a very nice checkpoint system where, what is it, every time you enter an area? Or exit certain areas, I should say.
It's when you enter the area that the checkpoint gets set. Yeah.
So anytime you get something like poison or paralysis, or just generally any bad status effect, you're able to just reset, hit continue. Status effect is gone. And Code he's living dangerously right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's low on health and needs to get through the swamp to kind of get out of the area.
Yeah, Mashima found the Lake of Rage, and the Lake Guardian wanted either the Sword of Water or Thunder, and found his way to a dead-end wind wall.
And we found the guards that are in the vanilla game just outside of Swan. Here they're blocking a passage where normally you would head towards Rage. So you're probably getting to see why I picked this seed to give these runners, because this beginning is just fantastic.
It definitely seems like something.
Yes, there are no medical herbs, no way to heal yourself. We'll get to see how well these guys can deal with that.
And they were giving me...
Even with how much of a struggle this has been, I'm just sitting here typing it the whole time. I can't follow everything that's going on. All I'm doing is typing notes, and I can't follow the action.
So we found Mount Saber West on that's Tornell's screen. Or wait, no, that's Mashama. And out of the connecting areas here, we have teleport. And oh no,
I haven't seen that one yet.
unfortunately, Mashama's magic power is too low.
Yeah, one of the enemies, or a couple of the enemies, I should say, including one of the bosses at least, use an ability where they'll basically hit you in the face with something gunk, sticky thread. I don't know what it's supposed to be, honestly, but it just drains your MP. So all the spells cost a certain amount of MP to either cast or continually use, and 20 is what we need for teleport.
So Mashama giving up and loading a save game that he had made earlier. So if you level up, you actually gain MP. You gain the difference between if your maximum MP goes up, you are given that difference immediately, and so you can actually get some MP back by leveling up. That's really his only way out of the start, because that starting area is actually logically locked by the entrances, and you have to teleport out. And since there are no shops with warp boots, they have to use teleport. So there's potentially some problems if they warp back without enough MP to teleport. And like I said, it's not a hard soft lock. Well, I guess it's not. It's sort of a soft lock, but you can level up to get that MP back. And the other option is to make sure that you can use a magic ring or a fruit of power. But so far, we're having trouble finding medical herbs, and we have to go through these swamps to get around this map.
Maybe a good name for it would be a pain lock, where you just have to grind, and like a grind lock or something.
The axe lock.
Okay, so Tornell has found medical herbs, which are called high potions, and they're in Leaf.
Yeah, and you just noticed Tornell picked up Wall. That is actually called Barrier normally. It's just we change the name a little bit. And Tornell's also going to pick up Disguise, which is the change spell, which, if you remember Axe talking a little bit ago about the guys outside of Swan guarding a gate, that is kind of required to get through them. So Tornell has enough MP to be able to cast that. He'll be able to continue on once he runs across it. And if you remember me speaking about the MP draining enemies, that's that little slime guy Tornell is dealing with right now. Or just a little bit south of him before he went to the start screen. But Sho found the Leaf Village, so that's nice. I didn't catch if there was any shops or anything. I was actually glancing at the other corner of the screen.
So we saw that Leaf has an item shop with medical herbs, which is going to be pretty nice to have so far. There's no other way to heal remotely because we don't have the refresh spell. In the vanilla game, you're given the refresh spell pretty early, but in the randomizer, sometimes you never get it, and you're really stuck with just medical herbs to heal yourself. Now, the medical herbs have been improved from the vanilla game, but it's still you have a limited item space to carry them.
It's what, 8 slots?
Yeah, and you know the plus here, the one thing the seed is giving them, they got teleport right away. So if you don't get the teleport spell, you've also got to carry warp boots in those slots, and you may also want to carry some MP restoration items like a magic ring or a fruit of power. There are some status healing items. Normally we don't like those just because they take up room that we could be using for healing and MP restoration items, or warp boots to warp us around. But luckily, we've got these. We've got our teleport spells. We don't need to worry about our warp boots.
Thankfully, this time. But you're probably going to see some runners grab an antidote or two as well. But the fun thing that we haven't brought up in that item slot is the opal statues, which
That's right.
normally you die, you break the opal statue, and you get revived with full health. But we met a couple incentives a little while ago, and they not only have to, waste one of these opal statues, they have to waste 2 of these opal statues. Axe, you want to go ahead and explain that?
Yeah, so the incentives, this is something that doesn't actually do anything in the game, but we just kind of got this mem where in the plot of the game, there's a certain sequence where one of the bad guys attacks the rebel town and kills everyone. And so there's this touching scene where they're all dying, and you can talk to them, and they get some final last words, gasping. And we thought, wouldn't it be great if you could revive them with this opal statue that, revives you? So in order to, quote-unquote, revive them, what you do is you actually drop the opal statue next to them. And so that will be our way that we save Stom.
Or another NPC of their choosing as well.
That's right, yeah.
A lot of people will probably choose the guy on Saber North, who I'm sure we'll see semi-soon, hopefully.
There are actually 2 incentives here. One of them is kill, save, Stom. So Stom is one of these checks, and then the other one is save another NPC. So they actually need to find 2 NPC, Stom and another NPC.
I did catch at least 2 of the runners earlier, talking to the Gold Rush, the Gold Digger man or whatever. Yep. There he is on Mashama's screen right now,
so
about
he's a
to die.
popular one to save. I've definitely seen Mashama, do a mem save on that guy.
Yeah, so in order to... Sabera is not weak to water or thunder. But yeah, in order to actually save that guy, you have to trigger his dialogue earlier. So
Okay.
I saw the runners trigger it already.
So we found the Goa Fortress, which is in the vanilla location for the town of Goa. And we found Mount Saber, or Mount Hydra, is in its vanilla location, I guess in relative at least to the Goa field. We've also found Mount Saber North, which Mashama was investigating. And we found out that it has its vanilla ice walls where we need to use the fire sword to break down. And there is the Sword of Fire on Mount Hydra, which Code Gorilla has found. I don't know, has anyone else found that sword?
Not yet. Sho is just creeping up there himself, so he shouldn't be too far behind.
That's potentially a big find. I guess the other one, have we seen them actually use change to go past that checkpoint?
Yes, that's actually how they got to Goa Field.
Aha, okay.
Oh boy. Well, we actually have a couple seconds here while they do some stuff. Rose, do you have anything for us?
Hello, I do. We have $25 from Nemo2342. Thank you very much for that. And just a reminder that we're raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Health. National Alliance on Mental Illness is the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization dedicated to building better lives for millions of Americans affected by mental illness. What started as a small group of families gathered around a kitchen table in 1979 has blossomed into the nation's leading voice on mental health. Heck yeah. Today we are an alliance of more than 600 local affiliates and 49 state organizations who work in your community to raise awareness and provide support and education that was not previously available to those in need.
Thank you, Rose.
You're very
So,
welcome.
yeah.
Code Gorilla has found his way into the crypt, which is normally the endgame area where you will go to fight the final boss. And there are two chests. Because of the area randomizer, normally you need to get the two bows, the Bow of Sun and Bow of Moon, to squash these statues. But because of the area randomizer, that entrance is just another entrance you could find. And it looks like Tornell is also in the same area.
Yep, and Code Gorilla got himself, I think that was an ivory statue, which, again, Sho's going to find here shortly, and that's one of our trade-in items. So, most of that row above where the magic is on the screen there, for Tornell's screen, for example, that second from the bottom row is generally items you'll turn in or use for certain checks. It could be anything from the ivory statue, which somebody's going to want, to flute, which could summon a gigantic insect boss.
Oh no! Code Gorilla taking a death. He's gonna have to go back and do that all, he went back pretty far there. So,
But
an absolutely huge pickup in the crypt there.
the fly-up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really really sad for Code Gorilla right there, because he went all the way, got Sword of Fire, went all the way to the crypt, got Flight, and then died and lost both.
One of the things about this entrance, the way the entrance randomizer works, the checkpoints are defined by when you enter a certain area. And if the way that it's set up is just kind of gives you certain areas that don't have checkpoints, you might go quite a while without getting one of those checkpoints. And it seems like that's what happened to Code. So Tornell getting that flight, I think that's gives him, I'd have to say he's in the lead now with that flight. I didn't see if he got the Sword of Fire, which I don't think was required to get flight.
I'm not sure. Again,
Let's see his inventory. Okay, Mashama picking up flight. He'll be hot on Tornell's heels. So Tornell finding the vampire cave connected to the desert that we're near where we started out. With flight, we're able to fly over the sand whirlpools to get into this area. However, the wind walls in this cave we can't break down yet. So we're able to get 3 treasure chests, but we can't actually go through this cave, which would connect somewhere else if we could break down the walls. And it seems like I don't think there was anything really interesting in the 3 items that we're actually able to get to. Let's see where Tornell goes next. And meanwhile, Mashama taking his flight up to Mount Hydra. Looks like he's going to go for going up higher on Mount Hydra.
Yeah.
Or no, wait. Okay, so here's the Sword of Fire that he didn't get before.
Sho picking up his Orb of Water in the Vampire Cave, which is traditionally the first dungeon in Crystalis, vanilla anyway. And he is teleporting out after that because he has ran out of checks he can make in that area. Because he is wind blocked, I believe.
So if you're new to watching the Crystalis randomizer, I just wanted to point out a couple randomizer-only quality of life changes. For starters, the enemies will level up along with the number of key items you get. So on the HUD there, you'll see DL and a number next to it. That refers to the difficulty level, or how many key items you've gotten. And then the other... So that's also a good indicator of how far ahead someone might be. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's kind of better than no indicators. And then the other thing that you can look at is they're constantly swapping their swords by pushing a quick swap button. So we added ability to quickly switch between swords without having to open up the menus.
Oh. Code getting Medusa'd. But he got his flight back. That's a good thing.
Okay, let me see if I can catch up on rating the map for this. We found... Oh, okay, so Code is walking out of here. He probably wants to do something on the entrance here. It's so easy to run into enemies, and so many enemies will hit you with some poison.
Oh yeah, and we haven't even found our friends the shadows yet. The only way you know where they are is the little circular shadow on the ground, and they shoot paralysis spell at you. And Code getting poisoned. Well, he tried.
So Mashama taking his fire sword into, let's see, I think this is Mount Saber West. He's going towards the tornado ring spot, and Tornell has found the Styxy area. This is actually usually a pretty rich spot because there are 6 chests.
Yeah, that was actually Sho, and he's cleared out the right side. He's gonna go check out the left here in a minute. Just gotta kill some, take out some flail guys who are some of the rudest in the game. Meanwhile, Code Gorilla has found Amazonas. And yeah. Ooh, butterflies for show. I bet he's real happy to see those.
Actually, a note for our streamers here: we have it looks like Tornell and Sho are swapped between our Discord stream and the live stream.
Well, that would make sense. I'm actually watching on Twitch, so
Okay, I am
That's a
watching on
thing.
the Discord. Yeah.
it's okay, guys. Not like we're the reason we had to restart the channel or anything. I mean, but yeah.
The show's still struggling to find Flight. He hasn't found the crypt yet.
All right, pop quiz. Where's Crypt? I don't actually know. Can you please tell me? Help.
It is in the entrance, the vanilla entrance to Chiron from Mount Hydra. So since we have the statue glitch, in one of the options in the randomizer is to enable this statue glitch or disable it. And because of that, because it's enabled, you can always get into Chiron. We do have the change spell, which means that we'll be able to get there. And I think this was Show finally figured out that he needed to use change to go into go past the guards there. That takes him into the Goa field.
Yeah, I don't think Show's gonna make that mistake too many more times. We did a practice race where he may have forgotten that and fell very much behind because of it.
So one way to kind of get a comparison on how everyone's doing is to look at that DL level, because it's a count of how many key items that you found. And so we can see right now, Tornell has a pretty good lead, but we have Code Gorilla in Stixie. He's going to pick up a bunch of items that will be unique and hopefully help him out. So Tornell going up Mount Saber north, that's going to get him into... he's going to be able to, with the fire sword, he's going to be able to break down the walls.
Yeah, Mashama picking up our first orb today. Looks like Tornell was holding onto the orb. The NPC Tornell, not the not the runner Tornell.
Okay, this is great for Show. He's heading up to Mount Hydra, which we know has both the fire sword and the entrance to Chiron here will go to the crypt where Flight is.
Code picked up the Bog Lamp, which is... I'm gonna just take a wild guess and assume that is the Fog Lamp. Just, joke names.
So Tornell did not find the fire sword. He still only has water and thunder. And
Wow.
It may be a little while before he thinks. We'll see if he thinks of this. He needs to go back all the way to Mount Hydra to pick that fire sword up.
But he's gonna find out if he can fight General Hug and Tackle. Nope. No damage. Needs Sword of Fire or Sword of Wind.
So it seems like we don't actually have the enemy weaknesses randomized. They're all vanilla, which increases the value of the Thunder Sword quite a bit because almost every enemy can be hit by the Sword of Thunder.
With the exception of some big slimes as well as bosses. Certain bosses, I should say.
Yes. Like all of the ones that we've run into.
We've got real good news for Show right here. It looks like he's just about to get Flight, so provided he has enough. Okay, he has enough high potions to get through that.
Oh, yes.
So he got flight, but he didn't go by the ledge to get the Sword of Fire. And it seems like maybe he thought of that as the next place to go. And we saw Code doing the same thing and taking that death while he was trying to walk his way back out.
Well, we do know that the entrance to the crypt here leads him back out to Mount Hydra, so that's a plus.
So Mashama
Meanwhile-
found Refresh. Help him. And Tornell found the sea. He's still missing that Sword of Fire, though. So
Yep.
Sho a little behind, but taking his flight around to catch up on some different things. Okay, and Code Gorilla is going to make our first NPC revival here. He's going to give the opal statue to the poor mountain climber. And I think we're going to see something. I don't believe Mashama has come up here.
I don't think so.
And we'll get to see what's in these 2 chests on Mount High. Actually, 3 chests that he'll be able to get on Hydra North. We haven't seen the Sword of Wind, so we can't beat the boss yet, or go in the entrance behind him, but we could get something interesting.
So one thing we didn't actually talk about that I should bring up for anyone who's played the vanilla game, the bosses in the vanilla game generally have a level requirement before you're able to actually do damage to them. The randomizer does away with this. All you need is the sword that can damage them and enough health to survive. So you've seen earlier they tried to fight General Kelbesk as well as any other bosses so far. That's why they're doing it. I mean, you see they're level 4, all basically around level 4. That's how they're able to do it. Generally in this randomizer, you're only going to see them get up to about the level 11 or 12, whereas in the vanilla game, you have to be level 16 just to get to the final area.
That's right, yeah. So, big convenience, not having to do all that grinding. On the other hand, it can be difficult, and it also can take longer to beat the bosses if you are on such a low level that your attacks just do so little damage. It could be either difficult or time-consuming on certain bosses where you can really only hit them with your charge shots.
Yeah, and that's where the level scaling or the DL on the HUD really come in handy, because if you have a low scaling, you're able to get away with a lot more low-level strats, whereas, say, they pick up another 20, 30 scaling levels, they're going to want to pick up a few more levels to make up that difference.
So the queen of that, we're going to see some interesting action. Oh, I guess not. So here's what we were talking about. Mashama heading up to fight Sabera 2, and he's got the Sword of Fire, which is what she's weak to. But the problem is, it was doing so little damage that he decided, nope. So let's see if maybe he's going to go. He's either going to go somewhere else or he's going to grind out some levels. Wait, we've got the sword charge glitch enabled. I had not realized we had that glitch enabled.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and explain that one real quick?
Okay, so here's how it works. If you if you have an orb on one sword and you're able to do level 2 shots, then you can equip that sword and then go into your menu. In your menu, you switch to another sword where you don't have that level 2. In this case, he has level 2 Thunder, but only level 1 Fire. So if he switches to level 1 Fire, then saves his game, and then without closing his menu, he resets. When the game comes back up, now he's got level 2. And the game actually catches up after you open your menu. So he can't go to his menu to do anything else. He can't like switch to a healing item because he has the barrier spell equipped, which is good for this fight. But if he takes that damage, he won't be able to switch to like a medical herb and heal himself. The higher level sword charge attacks are very nice on bosses. So being able to do this sword charge glitch is a huge help.
All right, Tornell actually found himself the passageway, which is normally right above where he's at on the screen, behind the Queen's chamber here. And he's gone ahead and healed the dolphin and found a hazmat suit. Was rewarded for that, I should say. And then, additionally, he had found the Leaf Village Elder, who gives you a key item normally in the beginning of the game. It's Sword of Wind. And he got the Statue of Gold. So the Statue of Gold is important because, well, you're able to calm the Angry Sea normally. I don't remember if that's the required item this scene or not, because, you know, bouncing around. But
yeah, we don't have the items. The items aren't changed. The names are shuffled, it looks like. So we do have a flag where it shuffles which items do each thing. I don't think that's... Although they have been sort of renamed. Like we have the bug flute that Tornell just used to summon the giant insect.
okay, so sounds like they're going to be fairly vanilla so far.
So far.
But the other important one is the hazmat suit that Tornell's showing off. He's able to go through the swamp without taking constant damage. So you're able to go through the swamp, you're able to go through the poison marshes, which you could sort of briefly see a few seconds ago on show screen. And no damage is taken, you don't have to worry too much. It's a plus. But we have our first, well, I guess vanilla would be the second mini-boss, per se. The giant insect. Who's pretty much a joke, because all you gotta do is just, you know, shoot straight up the middle there, and just not get hit. The bigger part of this fight is dodging the mosquitoes.
So, Sho taking on Sabera 2 now. I'm not sure if he doesn't have a level 2 attack, or he just decided not to use the sword charge glitch. You can see he's doing a lot less damage, and especially on fire, you get this like huge fire stream that's really awesome with the level 2 charge attack. So a huge benefit, a huge advantage for using that sword charge glitch on this boss.
Yeah, it's he's doing 4 damage normally, and he does have the Orb of Thunder, so he could do the sword charge glitch. He just might not be thinking of doing it. I mean, he did take a hit from the MP drain, so I don't know that he's going to want to continue this fight all the way through, because Sabera is doing a number on him.
So there you go.
The area that Mashama and Sho are both in right now is the Goa Fortress, and so in the vanilla game, this is sort of like the enemy's main fortress, and you've got to fight four of the enemy's main generals, and it's kind of this like marathon sequence where you've got to go through. Each floor has a bunch of treasure. And there's this area that Mashama's in, where there's floating platforms, and he's going to fight Mado 2 here. All of the the 3 second versions of the generals are here, and then there's the other general, Carmine. And we have, in the randomizer, we actually have a requirement where you have to beat all of the bosses before you can spawn the final boss, the big dragon. So you have to go through this fortress at some point and clear out all these enemies. And there's a lot of treasure, so if you're missing one sword, this could be where you end up finding that last sword. We haven't seen it yet. But it is an area that you have to go to sometime. So we have Mashama and Sho both opting to do this area now, get it out of the way, possibly pick up some really key items. Whereas Tornell is going through the Angry Sea, trying to pick up some other items, and in the process, he's going to be picking up probably some sword power-ups, and maybe some accessories that are useful. Looks like he's got a ring. I think that might be the power ring.
Yeah, there's definitely a trade-off there that you're making by running around, and you could potentially find a lot of really good, useful powers, but you could also over level the enemies, because that difficulty level, every 4 difficulty levels adds more HP and more attack to all of the enemies that you have to fight. So it's a double-edged sword there for sure.
Meanwhile, Code Gorilla going up Mount Saber West. Not sure if everyone went up here yet.
I don't believe so. I've seen north. I haven't seen west. So, or no, I did see Tornell doing west a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Mashama went up west earlier and got Orb of Thunder from Tornell.
I guess Mashama hadn't cleared out this vampire cave. Again, they don't have the wind sword to break down the walls, so they can only get to 3 chests, and they can't go through. Okay, yeah, there's that Orb of Thunder at the top of... however, we aren't able to make the trade with... So Tornell, at the top of the mountain here, at the NPC, he demands that you show him a particular... bracelet. So one of the bracelets that gives you the level 3 sword powers, and in the vanilla game it's the tornado bracelet, but it can be randomized to any of the elements. But we don't have any of the bracelets yet, so no one's able to make that trade.
And today's bracelet is the Bracelet of Stom.
Oh. So the bracelets and balls are progressive. So in order to get that bracelet, there's a bracelet and a orb or ball, and you have to get both of them in order to get the bracelet. So there's 2 different things that they'll have to find in order to get that level 3 power. Oh, and there it is. Oh no. So Sho has the Blizzard bracelet, but he actually used the Wild Warp to save it.
That was looking so risky there for Sho, but I think that was the right play, because if you got hit even once before you got degoomba'd, you're just out. Yeah. That's so much progress lost.
Yeah, and it's a real problem, because that status effect really only goes away by changing floors normally, or in this case, wild warping.
So the Goa Fortress, all of the floors in the Goa Fortress, even though we have this area randomizer, all of the floors in the Goa Fortress are still connected. However, their order has been shuffled. So normally, if you were to go in the back of Goa Fortress, like we did, you would find the Carmine's floor, but instead we found Sabera's floor.
A bit of a sad tale for Tornell. He found the Orb of Wind, but he still doesn't have that wind sword yet.
Actually, I mean, and Tornell still doesn't have the fire sword out on that's on Saber, or no, it's on Hydra.
Yeah,
and I think
Hydra.
he's been exploring other places instead of going back there. So that's why he wasn't able to go fight Sabera, because he doesn't have that sword.
Yeah, Tornell jumped into the crypt, which was in the vanilla Chiron entrance, and then just never went back to the rest of Mount Hydra.
So he has a lead on items compared to everyone else because he went out to the sea and was able to get a lot of checks. But the swords are required and really important. It looks like he's gonna fix that though. He's heading there right now.
Upon further inspection, Tornell realized he's missing his check over in Hydra. So once he gets that, I think he'll be maybe a little bit of a facepalm from forgetting that quick check, but
Maybe.
So there's actually another check. I don't know if I saw anyone else come up here on Mount Hydra. So without the Sword of Wind, they're unable to break the walls on Mount Hydra, but they can get one more. There's one more chest that they're able to get without breaking any walls if you go through the right entrances in the cave.
also shoutouts to Bert. Hanging out in Saber North today, just shoutouts to Bert.
And here is our dolphin. I think Code is the first to summon the dolphin and ride around on the ocean with it. And a recent change to the randomizer, you must have the dolphin in order to pick up the item in the channel. In earlier versions of the randomizer, you could fly over the channel and pick that up. But now you've got to have the dolphin. And we find inside the cave here, we've got Portoa Castle with the Elder.
Yep, which we have seen this a little bit earlier. I've already forgotten which runner's already done it. I want to say it was Tornell.
I think it was Tornell. I think it's only Tornell and Code that have explored the ocean here.
Well, they're making a couple checks. It might be a good time to, if we have any donations, we could.
Yeah,
Pass that
if
over
the
to our
host has
host.
anything.
Hey there. We have a $25 donation from Anonymous, who says, "For Pete!" with 2 exclamation points. Not sure who Pete is, but that one's for you. We also have, just a heads up, we have 2 incentives open at the moment. One for Deus Ex, which is save your pilot from Explosive End. That's at $30 out of 100. And now this one sounds really fun. For questing for glory, so you want to be a hero, we are at $50 of 100 for a cursed steed. So if you like chaos, that sounds like a really good time.
Oh, wow. Tornell going up Saber North. We have... Who's in this waterfall entrance? That... I think that might be the Crystalis cave. But since we don't have the Sword of Wind, we can't go through all these caves with wind walls are blocking us. So that's going to be the Vampire Cave and the Crystalis Cave can both connect to different areas because of the area randomization. But without the Wind Sword, we can't break the walls. Okay, the Stom Brace. So we found another entrance. I think that's either the back that's either the back entrance to the GBC cave, or it's the Krisa plant cave. And there's Brokahana. So I believe this is Joel? Yes. Okay, Mashama exploring the sea. We have pretty much everyone out on the sea here.
We did see Code Gorilla find in Joel. He found the Stom in the back alley there, which allows you to run into Kensu later as part of a quest chain. So that could be interesting because
Yeah, we found quite a few towns. So with flight, we're able to fly over the sea, but the dolphin goes a little faster and it doesn't drain your MP. So we're seeing all the runners use the dolphin. You also need the dolphin in order to pick up that item in the channel. But for everything else, you can fly. Okay, so Tornell finally making his run into Goa Fortress. We have Zombie Town, Portoa Castle. Yeah, there's so much going on here that it's difficult to kind of like keep track of exactly what everyone has.
they all seem to be making very good progress, though.
Code taking on his bug fight. Now, have we seen the Mija answering machine? Because we need that in order to get the item from Asina in her little hideout back there, and then that also lets you get the dolphin when you give the dolphin the medical herb. So there's 2 items locked by the answering machine.
And sorry, I am back. I had some slight technical difficulties. Accidentally pushing the mute button on my mic and thinking I'm butting in, and not really. It happens. I claim to be not a professional here, so hey, Tornell finding something magical there on his end in the Sibera area of Goa Fortress. He picked up a sword, I think.
Is that I don't think it's the Sword of Wind. It was because everyone. So at least Mashama and Sho have been through this area.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was
I
thinking.
don't think it could be the Sword of Wind. They've at least gone through. I believe they went through this area and they beat Mado 2. Actually, I'm not sure if Sho even beat Mado 2. I think he got the item and then he got some items and then left.
All I know is I just looked up and Tornell was holding up a sword. So, holding a sword in the air, I should say. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I missed scene.
Sho's getting his Stixie items. And that's where the power ring was. Okay, so we did find the answering machine somewhere. That's where we got the hazmat suit. Okay, so Mashama's getting that. He might use that and do his bug fight. The Tornell got hit with the Nooper beam and turned into a slime. And when you get turned into a slime, the only way to heal yourself. So there's a few ways. One is to enter a new area. There is a Fruit of Repun, which, again, it takes up an item slot that you'd probably rather use on something else because we only have 8 item slots. And the other way is to just go to a new area. Oh, so yeah, if you fall down a pit, go upstairs. Of course, you're moving slowly, but it might be better than the alternatives. And the other way, if you pop an opal statue and revive yourself, then you'll be back to normal.
The problem is they only have one opal statue to spare today in our race, so maybe not the option they want to choose.
Now hold on a second. Where did Sho find the wind sword?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I think that's who you saw with the sword before.
Oh, that could
Sho
be.
found the wind sword. Yeah.
Code Gorilla has it as well.
Picked it up.
I was looking at inventory and I saw it in Code Gorillas, so
Okay.
I guess way more people have the wind sword than I thought. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I did not see where they got it, but that's an important one. So with all 4 swords, they're able to break all the walls. So that evens things out a little bit between Sho and Code and Mashama and Tornell here.
Chad, I do want to point out Axe does not remember where they found the Sword of Wind. Axe is the person who vetted this seed and has already ran through it. So feel free to give him a little bit of grief here for not taking notes.
I probably should have remembered, but
it's okay. We know you're more worried about your Soul Blazer rando tomorrow.
the Sho going
That's
through the
exciting
vampire
too.
cave, he was able to break the walls and beat the vampire now, and it just takes him out into, looks like, the Valley of Rage.
Yep. Normally that would be right below the Lake of Rage, where we seen our runners go earlier. But instead, Sho finds the village of Swan, which normally is blocked off on the other side by both the sea and the gate that they had to go through earlier.
We found the Amazon's queen, and we're gonna see what item she wants. So it's the vanilla trade-in for her.
Vanilla, yep. And we did run across her earlier, I want to say on Tornell's side, or maybe Code's.
Okay.
Again, this is why we have 3 of us here. It's hard to follow things when it's going real fast.
So Tornell found the other entrance to Goa, and he was able to beat. This is the entrance that had Oh no. Okay, Tornell also has the Sword of Wind, so he was able to roll on through. So it looks like Mashama's the only way. Mashama turning into Stom, letting himself get hauled out of the Queen. But yeah, so Mashama now the only one without the Sword of Wind, I think. Or does he have it?
Mashama still doesn't have the Sword of Wind. I have not been watching close enough to see if Tornell has it yet, but yep, he does. So that just
Okay.
leaves Mashama.
Oh, there it is. It's in. Okay, so it was what you got when you. It was the statue fix item. So it looks like it was in. That's why it was tricky to find it out, because it's the item that you got when you combine the statue. So in the vanilla game, it's called the broken statue and the golden. Is it the lamp of gold?
Lamp?
Glowing lamp, right? And when you combine those, you get the statue of gold. But in the randomizer, you could get anything from that repair.
That was that was also a really good use of the sword charge glitch again on show side to get Storm Bracelet and just shred through Kelbesk 1 right there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, chat, we're gonna take just a couple seconds here. We're gonna toss it over to Rose while we try and figure out a solution to this slight audio problem. Rose, if you want to take it away briefly.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah, so as a heads up for people, this is the 6th event on the Randomania channel, but it's the first marathon focused on raising money for charity. And Randomania has been in existence since 2017, and it's been the mission to showcase as many randomizers as we can and bring them to people who have yet to enjoy them. So, take a look, try some randomizers. And Randomania's decision to select NAMI as its chosen charity is in memory of OTP Lawyer, who is a former Randomania administrator that cared deeply about mental health and was also raising money for NAMI. He unfortunately lost his battle with colon cancer, though, and Randomania is dedicating Randothon in his honor. And yeah, anyone who's got who's alive, has a brain, you've got mental health. And mental health and wellness is very important to talk about, break the stigma on, so look up NAMI if you want to look into that and learn some more.
Yeah. So, thank you very much, Rose. Hopefully, chat, we are a little bit more in tune with the stream, as fun as that is. We should no longer be commentating from 20, 30 seconds in the future. I hope. We're gonna find out. But yeah, so we have Code Gorilla as well as Sho and Goa still. We have Mashima making his way through General Kelbesk's floor, it looks like. And where is that? I actually can't catch that. Oh no, that's Carmine's. My bad. Yeah. Apologies, some slight technical difficulties. Give me just a couple seconds here. Should have everything back up. Okay. So hopefully we'll have Axe popping back here in a second. This is a learning process for our admins here who are doing an amazing job today. Alicel, Tybalt, Oscar, Gameboy, Lady Starscream, and any others that I have forgotten who are currently not active on Discord. This is their first time. These guys are doing this themselves, and this is a learning process for us all. So we appreciate everybody who's here and been patient with us. I know I myself dipped out for a couple minutes due to, like I said, accidentally pushing that big sparkly button on my microphone that mutes me, but hey, it happens.
It really does. The runners though have been doing really well.
Yeah.
In fact, kind of like it's kind of really even now, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the really good things about the Crystalis randomizer is until you're in the final area, the tower, it's kind of a toss-up. You can come back real quick or fall way behind. Just depends on what routes you take and what you get and how many times you get poisoned in some cases. Hey, I mean, I know some of our runners prefer the strategy of face tanking everything, and it doesn't always work. Code Gorilla actually finding our Stom bracelet, which that's what Tornell wants, and he finds an opal statue, which also is a slight requirement.
So, talking about requirements, that's an interesting point. What do we need to finish the game now? So, we know that we need all 4 swords, and we've got all the runners have found all the swords, so that's one important qualification. Another one is that we need the Bow of Truth. We don't necessarily need... We know we're able to reach the crypt, so if we get the Bow of Truth, then we're able to fight the dragon. But we also need to beat all of the bosses. And that's not just the bosses in Goa Fortress. It also includes Dragon 1, Kelbesk 1, Sabera 1, and Mado 1. And we haven't seen all of them. We've seen... We've seen
Kelbesk 1.
We've seen Kelbesk 1. I think that's it. So we need to find Sabera's Fortress, fight Sabera 1. We need to find... so in order to trigger Mado here... Oh, okay, actually, that's no problem. So by going out of Goa Fortress, the front here, which you can see... which you'll be able to see Code doing, that triggers the event that devastates Chiron, and it also lets you fight Mado. And we saw that the Mado... The Chiron Chapel... where the wise men gather, that was in Portoa. So they just need to go back there. They can fight Mado 1. So that'll be one of our bosses. But we need to find Sabera's Fortress. And we don't know that we need the other 2 bows. However, if one of the places that we need is behind the statues, then we do. So we found the windmill on the other side of... and I guess the windmill is in its vanilla spot, but sort of, because you have to go into the crypt entrance from the desert in order to reach it.
But yeah, speaking of those bosses that Axe just ran through, little bit of the backstory is those 4 generals used to be pupils underneath the 4 wise men who we've seen various times, including Tornel, Zebu, Asina, and Kensu. But they defected over to the Dragon Empire, the main antagonists of the game. With the exception of Carmine, we have to fight each of them twice, once in the locations as Axe described, and then, again, as mentioned earlier, in Goa Fortress, which I think almost everybody's been through. I know Mashma's finishing up Kelbesk 2 right now, so... And Code Gorilla is actually running by Zebu. So, yeah, just so we're not just throwing random names out, you kind of have a little bit of an idea here.
So far we've got 1 bow. We've also got 1 key. Well, actually, I'm not sure if all our runners have the same keys, but I don't remember seeing any keys being used, which could be important.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any keys used either. Only real gate I've seen was that Hydra or Saber West?
So we've seen the entrance. So because we can get on Hydra, we can get to the entrance. So the Vanilla Stixie entrance. There's 1 key spot, and the other one is on Gorilla screen here, right behind Kelbesk 1.
So one thing to note, we are not mispronouncing Stixie. That was a very horrible, poor translation spell check. It is probably, well, we're 100% certain here it's supposed to be Styx, as in the river Styx. However, when they, translated this game, somebody forgot to proofread. So we have Stixie.
Okay, so it looks like more people have that key. And that entrance on Saber North goes to Saber West. Where, I guess Code hasn't gotten the items here. I know some people have gotten them. Meanwhile, we have Mashama catching up on Goa Fortress. He did some of this earlier. But he didn't have the Sword of Wind, and so he had to kind of nope out. Now he's coming back to clear the rest of the fortress. And it looks like it was just a consumable on Tornel on the mountain. Since we have since we have his bracelet, it's the magic ring. So all that climb up the mountain, and we just got a magic ring.
But magic rings are nice because they do fill up the MP completely. Fruit of Powers only refill 38 to 40 or so?
Something like that. Okay, so Code Gorilla, he's gonna go fight Mado 1. And have a pretty easy go of it with the power ring and the blizzard bracelet. And like we said, that's a required boss. But we still haven't seen Sabera's Fortress, and we haven't seen the Pyramid areas, which we need to fight the other bosses.
Yeah, which, I mean, we're starting to run out of areas, so we should be running across those fairly soon, but that's not to say that it's not blocked behind our Sun and Moon Guardians, where we need the Bow of Sun and Moon to unlock.
That's right, yeah. So certain entrances are kind of considered in this like palace pool, this pool of like palace entrances, and one of them, actually both of them. So the pyramid and Sabera's fortress are both considered in that pool, and that pool includes the entrance, so the vanilla entrance to Styxy, and it also includes the entrance past the statues. So a pretty good chance that we're gonna need both of them. So what else haven't we seen? We haven't seen the waterfall cave.
No, we haven't seen Waterfall Cave. We've seen both the Fog Lamp and Carissa Plant Cave. Well, there's...
And here's the Carissa Plant field. We also haven't seen the speed boots. So everyone's got to be going around at the slower normal speed, which, you know, isn't really that slow. It's just the speed boots make you go even faster.
Oh, yeah. And don't mind Axe, Chad. He is living in the future.
Oh.
He swears he doesn't take notes or remember where anything is, but... Oh. But yeah, we've got a bit of a lull here while everybody is in explore mode. Rose, do you have any donations or anything for us? Give him just a second to catch up here. So, yeah.
We've got Code climbing Saber, or climbing Mount Hydra. There's a few items here he can get. I didn't see if he's got another key to try on this. Oh, maybe he does. No, he doesn't have a key. Okay.
Nope.
So we need a key to open that door. Meanwhile, we have Show going through the Evil Spirit Island cave, getting a few items there. Mashama's going to do his Mado 1 fight.
This will go pretty quick, because you have the Sword of Water and the Blizzard Bracelet. And he's a lot slower this time than he is in Goa Fortress. I mean, Mado is generally one of the least enjoyed generals you fight, just because he bounces around. I think the only one of the 4 generals that racers and anybody really minds fighting is General Carmine. Because the other 3 all have their own little quirks that can prove a little bit problematic. General Kelbesk is General Hug and Tackle.
Here's that waterfall cave we were talking about on Code's side. I don't know. Is it, that might be where Tornell is also. Oh no, he's on Saber. Or he's on Hydra.
This is Hydra. Yeah.
Okay. But Code is in the waterfall cave, and he found the key to Styxy.
Huh. I completely missed where that was.
Oh no, it is on Hydra. Okay, he's on Hydra too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the key to Styxy is on Hydra, close to the mountain, close to the top. The vanilla bow spot just has a magic ring.
Mashima making his way back up Hydra as well, so that's a good thing.
Okay, so I misidentified. It's not. No one has found the waterfall cave yet. This is just Mount Hydra. But
Yeah.
that key to Stixie is big, and it looks like they're gonna probably climb down and use it right away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I'm a little bit tired here, I haven't been up for a long time, but it's like, I thought that was Hydra.
Oh, is he gonna do it? Is Code Gorilla gonna drop the... Come on, Code Gorilla. I see you're going into Chiron.
Oh yeah.
So we
All
found
right.
the Dwarf Mother, which is nice, once we get telepathy anyway.
We've also found the pyramid here. This was one of the important areas that we needed to find. And we found Chiron, which of course we needed to find to handle our incentive here, where we're going to save Stom.
And Code actually finding the flame bracelet in the pyramid, which is very nice. Especially for the final area, the flame bracelet and level 3 fire sword is generally one of the preferred ways our runners will use to get through Dragon 2 and the tower. And Dragon 1 is gone. And for a bow of moon.
Fill out my map here. So I'm catching up on all this mapping. I still don't think I have everything. And the warrior ring, vanilla on Brokahana.
Oh, wow. So Warrior Ring is really nice. You want to explain why, Axe?
So when you equip the warrior ring, just stabbing with your sword keeps shooting out the level 1 shot. So you can just keep spamming out that level 1 shot with every stab constantly. So it's pretty nice for combat. You can just keep spamming out those shots, really nail everything. All right, so Mashama, he's going to satisfy his save Stom requirement here, and then take on Dragon 1. So we have, I think almost everyone has, I don't know if everyone's done this yet, but everyone's taken down Dragon 1 here. So we really need to find, we need to find Sabera's fortress and take down the witch. Wait, did Mashama mean to forfeit?
I am going to assume no.
Maybe Mashama actually burned 2 opals. I wasn't watching.
I think he's okay. So we found the Flute of Grime, which is, the Flute of Lime. So if we find the waterfall, we'll be able to get something from that.
Yeah, the Flute of Lime, generally, what it does is it unpetrifies our NPC characters that are turned to stone, which is Akahana and then 2 random guards that block a staircase. With
So
the
if
statue
you-
glitch, we're able to get around them, but you want to go ahead and tell us what those guards actually tell us?
So they give us a hint on an item that could be in either the Fog Lamp Cave or the Carissa Plant Cave. Which I'm not sure if we've seen the Fog Lamp Cave. We did go through the Carissa Plant Cave. Oh wait, this is the Fog Lamp Cave now that that Mishama's in. Or no, this is the that's the Vampire Cave.
While they're hunting for that last little bit here, now might be a good time to pass it off to our host if we have any donations available.
Hello. It's so amazing to see how much this randomizer has changed since I last tried it a few years ago. But yeah. So again, to mention some of our current incentives for Deus Ex, you can help save the helicopter pilot from an explosive fate. They work so hard, gotta get main character everywhere, so definitely do that. That's at $30 out of 100. And questing for glory, so you want to be a hero, beat the game. There is a incentive for a cursed seed, which that sounds like excellent content, and that's at $50 out of 100. So donate for that. Everyone wants to see a cursed seed.
So let's see. We've got Tornell exploring this final desert area. He's found. Did he not get something back here?
I'm not sure. I was actually kind of just questioning myself. I'm like, hasn't Tornell gotten everything here? Oh, he did pick up the windmill key, so that's
Aha,
what he was
there we
trying
go.
to do.
Okay. So with that windmill key, now we can go into the vanilla windmill entrance, which of course it doesn't necessarily go to the vampire cave, which we know it doesn't because that entrance is in the desert. So let's see where we end up.
Tornell making good work of note-taking. I'm really hoping here, because if he remembered where that is from memory, I'm going to feel real bad real quick. Because with these WHAM flags and everything being randomized, taking a map, writing down a map of some kind is a really good idea. But yeah, it looks like he found... Is that Waterfall Cave? Or is
I
that...
think so.
It's either Waterfall or one of the Saber Caves. I'm not sure. I
No.
want to say it's Waterfall, though.
That's the waterfall. Yeah, that's got to be the waterfall cave. So he's got the Flute of Grime. And it looks like everyone else is going to be heading that direction as well. Code also seeing the key. He's going to cash it in and start the windmill. And because of all this randomization, we've got, you go around to the windmill, which was kind of way out there. So it could have been worse, because most of the runners reached that desert area first by going all the way through Goa Fortress. But the second time, they were able to use the entrance from the eyeglasses, so the hidden entrance in the shed, they were able to use that in order to reach the Death Desert at the end. So we kind of got lucky there with a little shortcut on this seed.
Yeah, shortcuts are actually really nice. Because you never know when you're going to have to wander completely aimlessly into finding the one check they need.
So we picked up the pocket rooster, which is apparently the alarm flute, and we also got Oh, okay. So we got the Carissa plant to trade with Arillis, and we also got telepathy, which is going to open up a few things here. One is the Deo check, and another one is doing the oak. Okay, so because we've beaten the big bug and we have telepathy, we can get the Oak Elders item. And if we we need to actually talk to the Oak Mom after getting telepathy in order to get her item.
Which we have found the Oak Mom. It's just we gotta go back to her.
There it is. ESP.
And Tornell is doing
here.
just that. Oh, yeah. So, talking to the Dwarf Mom actually unlocks a little mini fetch quest, I guess we'd call it, where you gotta go into the swamp and find her son, and then bring her son back to him. Back to the mother.
Thankfully, we could just teleport to Oak because we found the town of Oak pretty early. And with all this randomization, he walks into his usual house, but that's not his house, but somehow he finds his mother, and we're able to get the Bow of Snoo. So that's all 4 bows for Tornell. Or, there's only 3. So there's 3 bows for Tornell. I'm not sure, have we actually seen the crypt main entrance to the statues?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not that I've
I don't
noticed.
remember seeing it either. But maybe one of our runners has and knows.
And no, Pawn Chocobo, unlike Zelda 2, we do not have children over our heads in celebration. But Tornell did find himself a sleepy guy, so he's gonna be able to get rewarded for that. But wait, Axe, do you see what I see on Tornell's screen?
Oh, this is, I guess not go mode quite yet, but this has to be Sabera's Fortress because I don't think we've seen it anywhere else. So where was this entrance?
Honestly, I am not 100% sure. I missed it. But hey, we found the Guardians and Evil Spirit Island Fortress.
Looks
and
like
Code it was through
a cave past somewhere. It was through this, okay, it was on the other side of the Windmill Connector Cave, which the entrance was somewhere in the Leaf area. But anyway, Tornell's going to take out Sabera 1, and that's going to put him in full go mode.
Yeah, all he has to do now is go to the crypt, defeat Dragon 2, and move on to the final area.
And as a bonus, we found the speed boots there. They were on Vampire 1.
We are gonna go real fast. If you thought we couldn't keep up before on commentary, you haven't seen us yet.
Because
But yeah,
Code found his bow.
You say
And
Tornell's
he's
in go mode, but I don't believe he's actually dropped Opal statues off yet for the donation
Oh.
incentives.
Oh.
So
Oh,
what happens if he ignores it?
We might have to.
he doesn't win, that's
It
for
may be
sure.
a technicality here.
Can you really win if you don't save the people, you know?
Meanwhile, Code, hot on his heels, and coming into this area ahead of Mashama and Sho.
Yeah.
A little bit of a flashing lights warning here because
Yes.
Tornell's choosing to use the Thunder Bracelet, Thunderstorm attack here. Probably the easiest way to take care of the big dragon here.
Yes, our big humanoid, winged dragonoid, Draconian Emperor.
So Tornell, I don't know if we mentioned this, but Tornell's the tournament champion of the last tournament. And he's in go mode. He's going through his tower. He's got a great setup here. He's got the power ring. He's well armored. He's got the fire bracelet. I don't know. Maybe he just realized that he forgot to he forgot to do his mem requirement here.
I don't know.
But he's pretty much locked in here to win because he is ready to finish this.
Yeah. I mean, very early on in the stream, I had mentioned most of our runners usually finish around level 11. So the fact that we're seeing level 13, 14, and 15 here is very out of the ordinary.
Well, we didn't have the speed boots for a long time until very near the end. However, we did find the warrior ring, and that makes it easy to take down a lot of enemies real fast while you're just sort of moving around. So I think that usually leads to higher levels. But still,
Yeah.
15 is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first race for Crystalis Randomizer that I've seen where somebody has hit 15 and wasn't, a
Yeah,
complete
without
beginner
particularly grinding.
named Big Daryl 1986 who was distracted. Anyway, the max level in this Pawn Chocobo is 16.
Yes.
In vanilla, you are required to do that before you can even damage Dragon 2. And it's level 15 for Dragon 1. But yeah, so Axe mentioned the Warrior Ring a couple seconds ago. That is actually an alternative if you do not have very much magic or very many magic rings to refill your MP. You're able to use the Warrior Ring to just kind of plow through there and, not get wiped out as quickly.
Way to go through that tower because those robots hit hard and they move somewhat randomly. They shoot. Their shots hit hard. If you've got the barrier spell, you can, you can block them. But yeah, so much easier. Tornell explains that he killed and saved Akahana, then killed and saved Stom. I think we did see him.
Yep. I do remember the Akahana. I couldn't remember. I think I've seen like at least 3 Stoms at this point. So, but I mean, I did have to look away for a few times. So I myself am not gonna.
So Tornell is our race winner here. Congratulations.
Yeah, GG's to Tornell. He did
His
finish.
race time recorded time was 1:40:14.
Yeah. So he did save Stom and he saved Akahana.
We have Code Gorilla right on his heels here, going through the fortress. If he can get through this fortress, we've seen Code have a little trouble sometimes. He took a death in the last practice race I watched with them. He took a death in the tower here, but he's pretty well armed this time. We do have a flag called max scaling in the tower. It kind of irrelevant now because they've got all the key items. As we explained earlier, the enemies get stronger as you get more key items. However, they also give you more experience and gold. But that doesn't matter in the tower. You don't get any experience or gold. You just need to beat them to get through here. And however, the max scaling flag makes it so that the enemies are always at the maximum power level in the tower. So even if you kind of are able to get into the tower early, you might have trouble beating it. But since this is max scaling, and we ended up finding pretty much full clearing the game anyway. I think the only things that they really never did, because they got to Sabera's Fortress last, we didn't really get anything extra in Sabera's Fortress. Other than that, we pretty much cleared everything.
And yeah, so Axe mentioned a couple seconds ago about the robots not giving any gold or experience. In the randomizer with randomized enemies, these robots can pop up in regular areas. And that is about one of the worst things you could find, because you're having to deal with these guys who can potentially deal tons of damage and want to keep running into you over and over again. And you're not getting anything out of it. It's a whole lot of, please stop, why are you here? Can I fly over you? So yeah, it's an entire thing.
The show starting his final run, or well, I guess getting close to his boss run here, because he had to come back and get, or wait, no, that was Dragon 1. I guess Show's got a ways to go here.
Yeah, Show did save an NPC as well as Stom, though, so there's that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Code is in his Dyna fight and will be finishing up shortly here. So we just wait for him to stab his sword into the reactor and end the tower. So we have Code Gorilla finishing second tonight with a race time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 13 seconds. You guys want to throw some GGs out there for Code Gorilla?
So compared to vanilla, the max power robots in the tower are significantly stronger. In the vanilla game, if you have the sword of, you can take the Sword of Thunder and pretty much nail the robots pretty easily. But with max scaling, even if you're at a pretty high level, you are still going to be banging on those robots for a while until they turn to dust.
Yes.
So it looks like Mashama, somehow he's struggling a little bit to find these bows. Sho is on track to. Oh, Sho actually doesn't have the bow. He came in here. He had 2 bows, and the bow names are shuffled, so we didn't know which bows we had. It turns out that the bow of strength was the bow of truth, and then the other 2 bows were moon and sun. So Sho had one of them.
The bow names actually weren't masks. It was bow of Stroth.
Struth. Okay, right.
And bow of Snoo. Also, GG Tornell, welcome.
GG's. I felt like that was a really bad start. But yeah, it was it was interesting.
Yeah, that was the main reason I picked that seed.
Probably one of the best seeds I've had of this, really. It was fun.
Yeah, everyone had a lot of fun with that start, for sure. And in the end, it looks like it was pretty much, it was pretty much a full clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was commenting at the end there that I'm like, I haven't seen anybody hit these high of levels since I tried running a randomizer seed.
I think it's the highest level I've ever had.
Yeah, the very start of the stream, I was telling our viewers that, hey, yeah, no, we're usually hitting the level 11 or 12, and, that's good enough, because that's all you need, really. But I all of a sudden look down, it's like, oh yeah, everybody's level 13, 14, and 15. It's like, oh, well then. I don't know if this has really been a good time for him, or just lots of tasty enemies to beat up.
So it looks like Mashama's picking up, he's about to pick up his last bow. I'm trying to make Rando Brazier look better. So he's got his last bow. I think he realizes now that he just needs to go and go in the... Yep, okay. So he's gonna go in the crypt, beat the statues, and do Sabera 1, and then he'll be clear to make his run at the tower.
So yeah, Tornell, while we got you, any other fun thoughts or anything about the seed?
I don't know, I'm still kind of like absorbing what just happened. I don't know. It's
These seeds, like, I hadn't actually done much practice on these seeds before I started playing to vet them, but these flags are crazy. I think I was over 2 hours by the time I finished, but I wasn't writing anything down, and I was just going in circles for quite a bit.
yeah, I pretty much have to write things down or I will never make it.
So what you're saying here, Tornells, we need to make Axe play the seed I rolled last night.
Oh, great.
This is what I'm hearing.
Sure, sounds good to me.
Oh, it was a fun run for you guys last night, but I'm glad you guys did really good on this and didn't have to spend 30, 40 minutes hunting for one bow.
Yeah.
Per se.
So it looks like Sho's on track to pick up his last bow, and I think that's all he needs as well.
I will say, hi, I'm here, by the way. I don't know how long it actually was, but it felt like a 30 or 40 minute bow hunt for that bow of sun.
Well, maybe for the bow snoo, but
Yeah.
Also, Code Gorilla, welcome, GG. What did you think of the seed?
That was an interesting one. This starts with Mesami Shrine having Sword of Thunder and Teleport, are always really interesting, and you have to be kind of careful in them sometimes to not... Because if you ever wild warp back to the start and you don't have enough MP for teleport, there is the potential to be just completely stuck.
Yeah. In theory, you could level up a few times to get some MP, but
right.
that
Yeah,
might be...
if the layout's nice. I guess in this case, it opened into Desert 1 where there were enemies that hopefully you could kill.
Yeah. Well, we have the enemy weaknesses aren't randomized, and you got the Sword of Thunder, which kills almost everything.
Yep, very true, very true. I've had worse starts where it's the same 2 starting items, but Mizumi Shrine opens directly into the swamp. So good luck with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. It got a little bit of everything in there. Got a later than usual flight, it feels like. Although I'm looking at my stats now, and it wasn't that late. There was just a long stretch of period after flight where I just had nothing going on.
Well, I think my math is a little shoddy, but I'll take a picture of this and show it for proof.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed his vanilla weaknesses and walls.
Yeah, and actually, I rolled, quite a few seeds and started out, and it seemed like almost all of them had that. It's, I guess the randomizer, something about how the randomizer is set up, like it tries to randomize certain things, and then it fails, and then it decides not to randomize them. Because they're all on question marks. So, like we said, this is a beta version, and so there's still a lot of development going on this rando.
Oh yeah, the developer Steve Hacks, as well as J-Roboy, Sir Archibald, they are doing fantastic work with this randomizer.
Yeah, I am a big fan of I feel like every change that has been done to this game compared to vanilla Crystalis just makes the experience better. Without being too confusing for you're just coming into this the first time and you're familiar with vanilla and why is everything wrong now, which you can sometimes get in randomizers. But yeah, this seed was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Good. I'm glad I was able to find a good one.
Yeah, I took a couple of deaths at the beginning, which was a little rough.
It was pretty easy to do.
Yeah, the start was a little rough, and honestly, that probably cost me the race. Thinking about it, I probably spent more than the 4 minutes difference between Tornell and I. Yeah. Recovering from those deaths.
You had a really brutal death there in the crypt.
Oh no.
After I picked up flight and I'm trying to walk out.
Oh yeah, I just noped out.
But then on the minus side, Tornell, you the Sword of Fire on that ledge.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I thought that cost me the race. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Pretty much last location that too.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten where the Sword of Wind was. Sword of Wind was in Goa, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the trade-in. It was the statue fix.
Right.
Result, and then I think the last one was in Goa.
Was in Sabera's floor. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I regret having put off Goa for quite so long. I kept putting it off because I'm like, do I really want to go in there if I don't have all 4 swords and can't, full clear it? But turns out I should have.
So real quick, don't mean to butt in, but I do want to point out that Mashima has entered the tower and Sho is fighting Dragon 2 as we speak. So these guys are getting ready to finish up our race here fairly quickly. And before we continue on, want to throw it over to Rose one more time before this race ends. Do you have anything for us, Rose?
Hello. Thanks to everyone for tuning in today. We've got more incredible runs to come tomorrow. I want to let people know that stigma harms 1 in 5 Americans affected by mental health conditions. It shames them into silence and prevents them from seeking help. The Stigma-Free campaign is NAMI's effort to end stigma and to create hope for those affected by mental illness. Through powerful words and actions, we can shift the social and systemic barriers for those living with mental health conditions.
Yeah. Right, we are in the final few minutes here of our race. We have Sho Fukumachi and Mashima, or M2 SH2M2, getting ready to fight Dyna, our final boss, which is the control center CPU of this tower. And again, there is flashing light warning on Sho's side. I do apologize for not bringing that up earlier. But yeah. Oh, and also I do want to give credit to Code Gorilla, who is also a developer in this randomizer, and I forgot to mention that a few minutes ago.
To be fair, I've done like one little teeny tiny check-in, and then gotten completely distracted by other projects, but I do appreciate the shout-out.
It does happen. And Ponchocobo asks in the chat, is removing the flashing animations something that the rando devs can do? It is something we are working on.
Oh, yeah.
It is in our to-do list. It is something that will get done eventually. We do know how photosensitive
I think it should be easy for these guys.
Yeah. The Sword of Thunder especially is pretty bad. But it will make... We are working on the accessibility option for that.
I'm sorry,
And
did Mashima just get Dyna down to like one hit, and then take out the side turrets?
Yeah,
And then...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I think he's hoping the show's a little bit closer. I mean... The show is not that far behind, honestly.
So,
But... Yeah, we'll let Mashima explain here in just a minute as he finishes with a race time of 1 hour, 57 minutes, and I want to say about 22 seconds. We don't know, he accidentally forfeited the race earlier, but it's a thing.
I think that was just more memeing.
Yeah, that's
In an effort to attempt to distract us, you know?
That would be fitting for Mashima.
It got me for a minute. I was like, oh, he quit? Okay, well, whatever.
Well, he killed his timer at some point, and we're pretty sure that's when he accidentally hit the DNF, so... But yeah, Sho has less than a round left of shooting a big energy ball into a big computer heart, and he is finishing up here. And Sho Fukumachi is finishing up with a race time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 59 seconds. GG's to Sho. GG's to Mashima. We're going to see if we can get them in here in just a second. That way we can get a little bit of final words and thoughts.
Whew. Okay.
Alright, I hear a Sho Fukumachi GG's.
GG's.
That
Oh my God.
race was very nice on everybody's end.
Oh, well, that's good.
Everyone been within 2 hours. Pretty good.
Oh, did everyone want to see the map? Was that something?
Oh, I posted mine, but
Oh, okay.
Yes. Go ahead and throw it in there. We want to have no takesy backsies, anything like that. I'm going to explain what I mean in just a couple moments. We're just waiting on Mashima to come join us, hopefully. But yeah, what'd you think, Show?
Well, everything was going smooth until not finding, the Sabera one and and stuff.
yeah, I mean, early on, there were points. Almost everyone looked like they had gotten some like they had some wins as far as finding something early. But it turned out that Code and Tornell were the stayed ahead. I'm not sure exactly where it was that what it was that Mashima missed that had him falling further behind.
Mm.
I believe we'll have to look at the stats here, but I think you got to flight fairly early.
On the stats, it looks like there's a big jump between Bow, Moon, and Sun for Mashima.
And speaking of, I think we have a Mashima here finally. GG's.
Jeez.
Yep, GG.
So, before I get into the real meat and potatoes here, what did you think of the race?
It was bow hunt. They're 90% of the seeds, and I hate them, but that's just the way it goes.
Yeah. So, the next thing I want to bring up real quick is Axe mentioned he's made a map. Code Gorilla went ahead and made his map and posted it. Would you care to explain to our viewers what they were talking about? Or I guess that was Show. I apologize.
Yeah, I make a map, although my map this seed is very bad because of the initial teleport to Oak. And
Yeah.
I was like, where's this going to go? So I just kind of drew it anywhere, and then it made drawing the rest of my map very bad.
It might be better than mine.
I did post it in the general, I believe.
Okay, yeah, you posted it right next to mine.
Yeah. So, real quick, I'm just going to stop. Hey, Rose, would you like to read these last couple donations real quick?
Absolutely, just a moment. So we have $100 from Mashima saying, Axe, you better win your race at least.
Shoot.
I'm going to be commenting on that, so I'm going to hold you to that,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Mashima decided he was going to donate for each person who beat him, as well as if one of us made a map of the seed. So we thank you very much, Mashima, for your generosity in opening up your wallet, as well as losing a little bit of pride for, third place today. So M3SH3M3.
This wasn't a tournament.
I have to say, I thought I was in go mode when I found the Bow of Truth. I was like, oh, Bow of Truth! I probably don't need the other ones. Well, that was a huge mistake.
I made sure we got one that you wouldn't finish too fast. So
You got me. That was fun though. Thank you, and thank you, Randothon, for hosting us.
Oh yeah, big shout outs to Randomania, the Randomania admins, crew, everybody behind the scenes. Thank you guys so much for letting us come in and do this race. I know, as Show said, he appreciates it. Each one of us does. But yeah, So, any final words or anything from any of our runners?
I'm sorry this keeps happening, Sean.
Uh,
Didn't mean it.
Ronell's been secretly practicing.
Every time.
I still got my customary second place at least, so no complaints here.
Yeah, I definitely need more practice. But yeah, once again, I definitely want to thank Randomania for having us, the Crystalis randomizer community, and showing like almost every feature that this randomizer has. You know,
Yeah.
it's been awesome.
I
Pretty
posted the
much.
link in chat for our rando page, and from there you can get to our Discord and roll seeds, get some information. You probably don't want to do these flags until you've practiced a little bit, but there's there's some easier ways to get started.
I mean, you could start with these flags. You're not going to have a good time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, some people like to do that. I mean, that's how I started with Soul Blazer, you know, just literally never played the game and just did a randomizer run for 8 hours. But all right. Axe, J-Ro, anything from you guys before we toss it over to our hosts?
I'm all right on my end. I'll be on tomorrow night playing, and Rose will get actually be commentating, and so yeah, you can have some fun with that. I think you can vote to set my name on there's an incentive to have my name. I think that's the only one for our race. It's gonna be a pretty hype Soul Blazer randomizer.
Yeah, this was really awesome, and we've got more awesome runs coming up tomorrow as well. So, GG's out to Randomania. This has been great. Thank you.
Oh yeah, very much. And I do want to throw a big thank you to each person in the Randomania crew, or Randomania. Them too. I thanked you guys a couple seconds ago. Sorry, I'm going to thank my Crystalis co-hosts, Axe and J-Ro, as well as our runners. Ran this race and gave us something to talk about here. And yeah. So, once again, thank you, chat, for coming and watching us do our thing and for listening to us ramble on and, you know, be in the future occasionally. But yeah, I'm going to throw it over to our host, who is going to wrap things up. And once again, thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you very much. Yes, we've had a wonderful series of runs today. Thank you to all the runners. Thank you so much to the crew for what you've done. Definitely been some technical difficulties, but there's also been a lot of work taking care of those. So thank you so much.
And I am going to pop in really quick. I am Alicel. I have been your restreamer for this evening. And as one of the staff members for Randomania, we do thank you for all your generosity today. We are absolutely blown away. Just words cannot speak to us. But we will be back tomorrow morning at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm not sure if it's daylight or standard because things like daylight savings time are weird. And we are going to start with wow. Help me, chat.
Castlevania Aria of Sorrow.
Thank you, Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. And we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow. But for tonight, we are going to let you guys go get some nice sleep, and we will be back. Y'all take care.